Chapter 30, Plague Hunting. Volke realizes that the two sands that he stole from Theasin's office is essentially what is the kheperas, and he takes the sands out, releases it onto the ground to allow another khepera to reform, and it reforms immediately. What a monster that Theasin is. The pink sand is a lot more significant, I see, because it heals the soul. It worked for Adelagus, and we love that Adelagus got better, but to the cost that he literally murdered this khepera that will never be able to come back again in order to bring Adelagus back. Again, it's a tragedy in itself, and we're glad that Adelagus is okay, but we remember that he used the tan sand just to heal Adelagus after the surgery for removing the abyssal leech. Just because he didn't want to wait around to let it heal or find somebody to have it heal for him. So Theasin has not only known, but has been killing these khepera and to use on his own this whole time.
And it comes to light that he's the one that tampered with the maids just so that he exclusively has access to them.
And to give some perspective, we only have 6 khepera left out of the 112 original khepera that they started with. So just the sheer amount of khepera that he has killed and is completely almost driven extinct because of this. And we know that they are actually being killed. From what I interpreted is once the khepera dies and somebody uses its sand, the pillar that it was on collapses and disintegrates essentially. Mystical creatures are able to feel the magic or the power coming from the sword that Volke has and essentially the bones that he had found. So because the khepera can feel it as well. Luther can feel it, but no other arcanist can except for Vethica, because Volke essentially passes the sword around just to see who can feel it.
Who can lift Thor's hammer?
Sam handing over Mjolnir, you know?
Yeah.
I don't. Is this a second bonding thing, or is this because of the plague? Well, I guess. Well, never mind. Vethica wasn't second bonded. So yeah, this must have been just the corrupted by the plague that can feel the power from these bones. Totally didn't realize that, by the way. Sorry. They realized that if they leave these baby khepera in the grotto labyrinth, that Theasin will probably be back. He'll probably go steal some more of their sand. So what they decide is that they're going to take off with all of the baby Pokemon and allow Adelagus and Volke basically take them with them to turn to the Frith guilds. That way, at least somebody can monitor that they're going to be safe. Adelagus and Volke kind of hang back for a minute to have a quick chat, even though the maze moves every hour. So, you know, they should probably be out of there. Plus, again, we have Captain Devlin keeping this hurricane aura up so that they can get in and out of the labyrinth without being caught. Adelagus realizes that the khepera magic will actually not have any effect or anything, will not do anything for Volke.
And the reasoning he has behind this is essentially she's too newly bonded. He was hoping that there would be either an older khepera or some sort of artifact that they could use, but given how everybody struggles with their magic once they're newly bonded, she's not going to be able to learn the restorative magic in time to help Volke.
And this is one of those very hard to grasp, hard to swallow pills of this one thing that we waited 3 weeks for. We decided to not go after Theasin, and it unfortunately is not going to play out for Volke how they wanted it to. Adelagus does say that he was kind of hoping that there would be some kind of like artifact or something of that similar sort that would be helpful for Volke, but unfortunately, it's just Theasin being Theasin, going after all of the kheperas. Now, we talked about the labyrinth feeling a lot like Maze Runner, and before you mentioned that, I was actually thinking about it as the beneath the well section in Majora's Mask, as far as the way the layout is and everything. But I would say Maze Runner definitely fits a lot better for how everything moves around and that kind of thing. So I just see it as creepy and got give to standing at the entrances, the doors, and you got to give him fish or something like crazy like that.
Offerings to please the gods.
He just doesn't get a mirror shield at the end of it. I mean, the khepera do pretty much evoke sunlight, so there's that. So as if there wasn't enough to be thinking about as they're exiting the grotto labyrinth, none other than Jevil happens to be strolling by with his new trinket that detects plague-ridden things. And of course, it is going off on his wrist, and Jevil realizes that Volke is plague-ridden. Now, typically with the bounty, they would kill plague-ridden arcanists and then bring them back to collect in on this bounty, but Jevil has a serious bone to pick with Zelfrey, and I couldn't imagine why. Like, like what the heck did Zelfrey like embarrass you in front of a lady, or like I don't even know. Like, what did he do to you?
He wants to. He really wants to prove himself that he's better than Zelfrey.
Jevil essentially wants to catch Volke, take him alive so that he can lure Master Zelfrey to Jevil so that Jevil can fight Zelfrey and make a chain out of with his name on it, which we all know wouldn't happen. Like, why? What is so? Why are you so adamant about Zelfrey? Did Zelfrey insult your mother's cow?
He just thinks he's cute or something.
And with that, we end this week's episode. As far as the bestiary section goes, again, we are still waiting for confirmation that the bestiary is out to those Kickstarter hands that and give them an opportunity to take a look first. So we're still waiting on that. Once we get that, we'll do some updated bestiary sections with mystical creatures we've already seen.
Eric, Scott, and I want to thank everyone for listening today. We post a new episode every Wednesday morning at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, and 8 Pacific Standard Time. We are on all podcasting platforms and are also on YouTube as well for video. After the additional episode airs, we post chapter-by-chapter videos every day in a smaller, easier-to-digest format. We do want to give a special shout-out to the final member of our team, Dan Mackison, one of the admins for the Frith Chronicles Wiki, link listed below, and doing his best to keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes. If you want to reach out to us, you could email us at frithguildpod@gmail.com or on Facebook or any other social media by searching for Frith Guild Podcast. Just to remind everybody, we have links to everything in the description below on both the podcast and YouTube. Scott, do you have anything else you want to add this week?
Just a plug for live stream coming up, tabletop game.
Whoop whoop. That will be coming up, so we'll have that posted, I believe, at the end of this book, and so that way if you don't get a chance to sit in the live stream, you will be able to see it later on. All right, well, thanks everybody, and see you next week.